Yo guys, and welcome to a new review. Today I will be talking about The Life of Chuck. Alright, so today I watched The Life of Chuck, a movie from Mike Flanagan based on a short story by Stephen King, which is always awesome. I mainly know Stephen King from being a horror writer, so it was really interesting to see something else of him, even though I do know that he also wrote The Shawshank Redemption, which is also not horror, so I did know he can make great stories that are not horror. So with that being said, this movie had a stellar cast and a very incredibly confusing story that I adored more and more and more as I thought of it. Like, this movie has a structure in its story that I have never seen before, or I have seen bits and pieces of it, and I have seen attempts of this kind of story, but not in the way that this one did it. This one doesn't go from backward from the end point to the beginning. It goes from the last act to the second act to the first act. So you begin with the entire climax of the movie, basically, which is very awesome. And I have to say, it's confusing in the beginning, but the story that they are telling with that conclusion is really fucking awesome. And if they only made that part of the story the main movie, I would have loved it nonetheless, because it's that incredibly cool and that incredibly nice made and that incredibly interesting. And then they make the second chapter, which goes... Everything that we had from that first chapter, from the first act, goes away. We now have something else, another time frame happening before chapter or act 3, and I was a little disappointed in the beginning because of how different that it was, but in the end I absolutely loved it, maybe even more than the first chapter or the third one. First chapter, third act. Okay, let's just say that, because well, it wasn't that interesting in the beginning, but the way that they did it and the story that they told for that little part was infinitely better, and really well interesting, really well made, and it gives you some hints as to where this movie is going, which is really interesting. But then we have the third chapter, the first act of this movie, the start of the life of Chuck. And I have to say, for the most part, the story kind of bored me in there, because I just didn't think it was as interesting as the first chapters were, like the climax of the movie and the middle part of the movie. I thought that first one wasn't as interesting, but of course it is the first chapter, is the first act. It's what you normally see in the beginning of a movie, so of course it's not as interesting or action-packed or not as full as anything else was. But the more I thought about that chapter, the more I loved the movie for it, because what the movie tells you is really interesting and really good and really heartwarming. And even if you do not understand the message that this movie tries to convey to you, you will still leave your seat or leave your sofa or leave your movie theater if you watch it in the movie theater. You will still leave it feeling fulfilled and feel like, I am doing okay. And that's everything this movie tells you. You are a person, and in that person, there is an entire universe of possibilities. There is an entire universe of choices you as a person make. You are unique in everything that you do. You are unique in all of what you are. You are the main character in your story, and even though there are 7 to 8 billion people on Earth right now, all 8 billion people have an entire life of their own, which is incredible. And the way this movie tells you that notion is awesome. And the movie literally tells you, like, you don't have to be a hero, or you don't have to be famous, or you don't have to do something great to be a good man, to be a good person. And that's awesome, because this movie absolutely makes you feel important with just its messaging. And there are some metaphors in this that you will not get in the first glance, but if you think about it afterwards, they start to make sense, and you start connecting more and more and more and more of the dots, which makes this even better than it already was beforehand. Is the movie the best? No. If you can't accept the weird structure of this movie, you're going to get out disappointed. And maybe, yes, the first act and the second act, like the third and the second act, basically are infinitely better and infinitely more interesting than that first act, like the beginning slash ending of this movie. But still, you can feel the message throughout everything, and that message is what makes this movie as great as it is and as loved as it is. I deeply adored this movie, and I deeply adored what they were trying to convey to the audience with its story. I had 4.5 stars in the heart for this one, but I do think, based on everything I told in this review, that I will bump it up to 5 stars. So this one gets 5 stars and the heart. Its message is awesome. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. What did you think of this movie? Please let me know in the comments down below, because I'm really excited to hear your opinion on it. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you, and bye bye.